So, Zombie, aka Zombie 2, probably the most confusing title for a movie ever. I've never seen a movie that was both titled Zombie and Zombie 2. So it kind of depends on which region you're looking at this from. This movie was released in Italy first, and they tried to market it as a sequel to Dawn of the Dead. But then when it came to America, they just titled it Zombie, which led to further complications when it comes to the sequels, but I won't go into that. But basically, this is an unofficial sequel to Dawn of the Dead. In my heart and in my brain, is this truly a sequel to Dawn of the Dead? Not really, but it does have some similarities to Romero's series. I find each of Romero's films have a significant location to them, whether it's the mall in Dawn of the Dead or the underground bunker in Day of the Dead. This one takes place on an island, and I thought that was really unique. I used to watch my brother play video games. I'm not good at video games, so I just watch people play video games. And he used to play this game that was like a Hawaiian island, and there was a zombie invasion. It kind of felt like that. It's kind of cool to see the contrast between a relaxing, beautiful island and fucking zombies. So it's always interesting to see that. The movie was very reminiscent of something like The Island of Dr. Moreau to me. Basically follows the story of 4 people who go to an island, and the doctor on the island is doing some experiments with zombies. The native people of the island are into voodooism. They're able to bring back the dead, and the doctor on the island is trying to find what is the scientific reasoning behind that. Conflict between religion and science going on there. Just like the Romero movies, I feel like this movie has things to say, although not to the extent that Romero does it. This movie has a lot to say about testing on humans, a lot to say on like religion versus science. So there's a couple of faint themes in there, not as heavy-handed as what you get with a Romero movie, but they're still pretty present there. So positives with the movie, I talked about the contrast between the horrifying zombies and the tropical island. That's especially highlighted through the music. There's parts where there's Latin jazz. There's parts where there's tribal drums. That really fits well with the zombies. I find there's a nice contrast there. And I thought the synth score, which eventually comes into the soundtrack towards the end, I thought that score was effective as well. There's a great sequence in this movie. I love the sequence with the shark. The girl goes scuba diving. For some reason, she's wearing nothing but an oxygen tank and a G-string, which was an interesting directorial choice, but it's a zombie movie. You gotta show boobs at some point. So she goes scuba diving. All of a sudden, there's a shark. And I'm thinking, holy shit, this actress is getting so close to the shark. She's dodging the shark narrowly. I don't know if it's a puppet or a real shark, but it looked pretty real to me. And then, not only does this girl get hunted by a shark underwater, there's a fucking zombie underwater. Ho-ho! Double whammy! So then the zombie is trying to bite her. She narrowly escapes the zombie. So what does the zombie do? The zombie tries to fucking eat the shark. That's right, it's Zombie Jaws, motherfucker. I was really hoping to see some zombie sharks in this movie. Unfortunately, we didn't get that. But that whole sequence where the zombie is trying to eat the shark was pretty badass. Although, if ever they're gonna make another zombie movie, zombie sharks is probably a pretty cool idea. Whoever's watching this video, feel free to steal the idea of Zombie Jaws. It's yours. Take it, put it to good use. That shark scene aside, there's some really, really excellent gore scenes in here. And a lot of insects too, which I don't really see often in zombie movies. These are rotting corpses, so yeah, duh, you would see insects coming out of their out of their eye sockets and out of their mouths. It's really gross to watch. You really feel like you can smell these zombies. The movie was very graphic, that's what I'm trying to say. There was this really disturbing scene. I don't know what it is with Italian movies and eyes. I was watching Dario Argento's opera recently, and maybe that's why I have that bias in my head. I find Italian movies are addicted to eye and eye gore. There's a scene where there's a wood shard just sticking out of the door, and a zombie just forces the woman's head into the shard. And I'm thinking they're going to cut away to the next scene. But they have the balls to not do that. We see that fucking chunk of wood stab right through the girl's eye into her brain. It was gross. It was graphic. It was great. I'm a bit of a gore hound. I'm sorry. I'm a sick bastard, but it is what it is. So this movie, you basically get what you want in a zombie movie. There's nudity, there's head explosions, gunshots, blood, gore. Definitely delivers on that aspect. What it doesn't deliver as much on is character. The characters are very, very forgettable in this movie, unfortunately. I thought the Doctor was the most interesting character in this movie, but even then, he was a bit one note. He was basically just an evil doctor. Actually, at some point in the movie, the two lead guys in this movie are blonde with beards, and they kind of had the same body type. So I got them mixed up halfway through the movie. That's how, no personality was given to these characters, which is unfortunate because I feel like even if you had caricatures in this movie, it would have made it a bit more entertaining to see all that gore happen. Couple of bad dubs too. Italian movies have a reputation for having some questionable dubbing. I felt like I was watching the movie in the wrong language when I first started the movie because they would kind of talk like this.
Hey, Sarge, that boat's abandoned.
And it looked weird. Then I looked up on IMDb what's the original language of the movie, and I was watching it as intended. So I was like, okay. I had that happen to me the first time I watched the Clint Eastwood Western movies that were made with Sergio Leone. So it was interesting to relive that again. That doesn't bother me. I'm used to it at this point. Just a little jarring at first, but you get over it pretty quick. Overall, I think this movie delivers absolutely on what it's aiming for. Is it a true successor to the Romero Dawn of the Dead? It's not quite on that level. It's not really on that level to me. This goes for a more trashy B-movie kind of vibe, while the Dawn of the Dead movie that Romero made had a lot to say. I find it had a lot of social commentary in that movie, while this one was missing that. And I think that was the big hole that was missing in this movie to me. But as a movie standing on its own, and I do consider this its own movie, it's not really a sequel to Dawn of the Dead, but as a movie, as its own movie, this is a great movie. I had a blast watching it. I'm giving this one an 8 out of 10. It was really enjoyable.